Well, on Monday night, the Free Thinkers and PAG are having a discussion of dignity in dying. And with me is Nick, who supports this. And also, you have first-hand knowledge about people dying. You've accompanied two people, I believe, to Switzerland on this. Can we start with that?
Sure.
Obviously, it's a big subject, but what was that like?
Sure. Both of my friends, this is Annie Hall and Bob Cole. Annie died in February of 2014 and Bob in August of 2015. Both of them had terminal illnesses. Annie had progressive supranuclear palsy, where she was in the final stages, but she didn't want to die of pneumonia or choking on her own tongue, and so chose to have an assisted death. And my friend Bob, he had asbestosis from working as a young man in the building industry, and it was ravaging his body to the point that he couldn't take the pain anymore. And he also resolved to go to Dignitas barely a year and a bit after his wife and to die. And I helped them both to arrange their journey and accompanied them on the final journey.
Were you there at the end?
Yes, I was there at the end.
What was it like? I mean, is it peaceful? Is it all those things that people hope for?
It was extraordinarily peaceful and graceful and a merciful release. I think the issue here, though, is that they should have been allowed to do this at home. That was the wish of both of them.
And is that upsetting to get on the plane and go?
Yes,
I mean, I've seen the films on TV about it. It's a very sterile house, isn't it? In an industrial estate, isn't it?
Yes, but I think that isn't the beef, to tell the truth. I think the beef is that we're made to feel, and they and we who accompanied them, made to feel like fugitives, run the risk of being prosecuted still under the criminal law because it's an offence to assist in a suicide, not an offence to commit suicide, but to assist a suicide.
They're not pushing that anymore, are they?
There haven't been prosecutions, but it would be. We need to have it clear, I think, that the Campaign for Dignity in Dying puts in place safeguards for people who are going, so they don't have to go through this feeling like a fugitive, risking the law, and so on and so on, but they can do this in the comfort of their homes, surrounded by their friends, nice glass of wine and music or a bit of a party. And that's basically a pretty human right, I would have thought.
In their will, should people make that thing that says, I don't want to live once I'm a vegetable, do what has to be done?
Yes. Well, people can make now living wills for that they don't want to be given medicine past a certain point, but that's not the same as an assisted death, because an assisted death is where you actually administer the drug yourself.
So you've got to be completely...
You've got to be compass, you've got to be physically able to do it, you've got to be assured that you're not being pressurised by people and so on and so on. So those are the safeguards that ought to be in place.
So you're part of this PAG thing tonight will be explaining what's happened and just that it's a quality of life issue, it's having choice on your own end.
It's absolutely a quality of life. It's about dignity at the end of life. I know we talk about the right to life, we ought to talk about the right to dying and the right of people to choose the way with a terminal illness that they can actually shuffle off this mortal coil, you know?
Yeah, and if there's nothing else available, do you think this Switzerland model is okay? I mean, would you, that's a horrible thing to say, but would you do it?
I personally would, but I would hope that by the time I get there, we might have some legislation in place here to enable people to die at home, surrounded by friends, and with the legislation that ensured that social agencies were actually assisting you to do this, not blocking you at every stage.
What would you say to the religious groups, the doctors who disagree with you?
It would be my choice to do this within a legislative framework and not theirs. My life doesn't belong to the bishops or to the doctors any more than their lives belong to me. So should there be progressive legislation that enable me to make that choice, then I should feel safe doing that within the framework of the law.